Hello, welcome to Yoga with Elizabeth. Today I have a practice for you if you don't want to do any forward folding. So maybe you have some back issues. A bulging disc sometimes can make folding forward feel quite uncomfortable. So this is a practice for you. So we can still move with a gentle flow through our postures without coming into a lot of the forward folds that are associated with a typical yoga practice. So we're going to start today just by taking a few inhales and exhales, just settling ourselves into the space that we're in, wherever that may be for you, and just bringing ourselves into the present moment. So any comfortable seated position. If sitting on your heels like I am doing is uncomfortable, then come into a cross-legged position in front of you, or anything that feels good. I'm going to come down, I think, and sit in a little cross-legged position just to fine-tune my mind and breath and connect the two. So when you're ready, let's just take a nice deep breath in through the nose, softening through the shoulders, feeling the belly expand. And as we exhale, sending that breath once more out through the nose, feeling the lungs deflate and the belly draw in. Taking a few of these grounding, settling breaths, bringing yourself mentally and physically into your space today. And as you know, the practice of yoga isn't just about the postures, the shapes that we make on the mat. It is about tuning into your breathing, finding a way to calm the chatter of our mind, relax the body, learning to listen to what your body might be telling you, moving in a way that benefits you rather in a way that you feel you should move but might actually be harmful to you. Just staying here for a couple more breaths, really beginning to relax your body, quieten that mind so you can focus on our practice ahead of us today. On your next inhale, begin just to flutter those eyelids open just as you reach the arms overhead, keeping the shoulders soft, extending up through the arms, through the fingertips, give them a little bit of a wiggle, drawing those sit bones down to the earth. And as we exhale, taking the hands down either side of the hips, roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to bring ourselves over onto all fours, stacking our wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, finding this tabletop position as we pull that belly in, keeping length through the spine so the gaze is down towards the floor, staying nice and long through the back body as we extend our right leg behind us. Now the toes face down to the floor, and we don't want to hooch that leg high, twisting through the hip. We're just lifting the foot, maybe even just a few inches off the earth, keeping as much of a levelness, does that even make sense? Keeping those hips as level as we can. And if we feel able to today, we're just going to extend our left arm out in front of us, holding it here, focusing on that breath before drawing hand and knee back down towards the floor, establishing your neutral spine again. And if that means bringing yourself through a round of your cat-cow, curling your spine one way, curling it the other, before we settle into our neutral. And then we take our left leg behind, so the toes face down, the heel pushes away, we level the hips, Very difficult to see if your hips are level if you're not looking in the mirror, but try and feel the bottom part of your spine. Try and keep the hips level as we extend our right arm in front of us here. Keep that gaze to the floor, the neck is long, lengthening through the back body as we return the right hand and the left knee towards the earth. Again, if you want to, just moving that spine very gently through a cat-cow before returning ourselves to our center. We're going to take our right hand, just move it into the center of your mat a little bit. Extend your left leg behind you, and we're going to turn towards the long edge of your mat as we reach our left arm up towards the ceiling. So we're coming into a variation of a side plank here. Now this is where your little lily pad or your cushion might come in handy if you need to place it under your knee. Extending that left arm overhead now, so lengthening through the fingers. Try not to reach out of the shoulder joint, but just extending through the fingers, maybe even feeling your left leg lift up to hip height. So the whole front of your body is facing the side of your mat here, as though your back is pressed against a wall. As we lower that left leg to the floor, so we lift ourselves up onto our right knee and take our left arm down the left leg, reaching up with the right and gently over. Lengthening down that right side of the body, keeping those shoulders soft, and as far as is possible, keeping with our even breath. As we exhale, we windmill those hands all the way back down towards the earth, and we'll come on to the opposite side. So my back is going to face you for this one, but that's quite good because you get to see what it looks like from the other side as well. So the left hand just moves to the center. We turn on that left knee and extend the right leg out. The front of the body faces the long edge of your mat as we sweep our right arm up overhead. And as we exhale, draw the arm towards our right ear as we reach that right leg to hip height. As though you're pushing your right foot against a wall behind you. Keep control through your center, so as we inhale, it helps to lift us up, and as we exhale, we come over towards the right-hand side, keeping space between the ear and the shoulder. Keep that breath flowing smoothly as we exhale, windmilling the arms all the way back down towards the floor. And then from here, just sitting back on our heels, and then lifting ourselves up, so we're in our kneeling position. Taking our right foot out in front of you now, so there's a little bit of balance going on as well. And again, if you need to either roll your mat over or pop a cushion underneath that left knee, let's tuck the toes behind us as well, which helps with our balance. So we're stacking shoulders over hips. Let's bring our hands to our heart, keeping that right knee out towards the small toe. Lots of small things going on here. We're not forgetting about our glute muscles, so we're squeezing our glutes. We're drawing that belly in. We're finding length through the body as we ground down through our right foot and our left knee, shrugging those shoulders back and down. As we inhale, let's lift the arms up. Maybe even looking up a little bit, encouraging a slight bend into our back. Before exhaling and drawing those hands down towards the heart as we begin to tuck our left toes underneath us. And as we inhale, use the strength through our lower body to draw ourselves up to standing. 2 straight legs here. You can stay on the toes of your back foot. And as we inhale, so we lift the arms up. As we exhale, we draw the arms to shoulder height, dropping that left heel behind us. Take another breath in, and on your exhale, drop your left hand down your left leg, reach up with your right, and come into a little bend towards the back of your mat. Keep pushing into your front foot as well. We want to try and keep the balance all the time between the weight in your front foot and your back foot. So we're pushing into both feet equally, grounding down through to the earth here. And then as we exhale, so we draw the hands back to shoulder height, pivot back onto the toes of that left foot as the hands return to the heart and we sink down onto that left knee. Draw your right knee next to your left and then step your left foot forward. Take as long as you need to get into this position. And then when you're here, before we even begin any movement, we think about the weight in our foot, in our knee, pushing the knee out to the toe, squeezing the glutes, lengthening through the spine, drawing that belly in, finding some control in our body, some length in our breath. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, maybe a gentle back bend. Inhale, draw the hands to the heart as we tuck the toes of that right foot. On your next breath, use the power through your lower body to lift you up. 2 straight legs here. Inhale, reaching the arms up once more. As we exhale, we drop that back foot, bring the arms to shoulder height. Keep the shoulders soft, the arms lengthened, extended, rooting down through both feet equally. Your next breath takes you into that slight backwards bend here. Shoulder away from the ear. Inhale, coming back through center. Pivot on the back foot as we draw the hands towards the heart, but this time we're just going to step forward to the top of the mat. So stepping your right foot to meet your left at the top of your mat, coming into our mountain pose. So relaxing the arms alongside the body. Take a moment here with your eyes closed, just so that you are aware of the weight between your right foot and your left foot, and between the front of your foot and the back of your foot. By turning your palms to face forward, this has the effect of drawing your shoulders down a little bit and drawing together behind you as well. If your eyes are closed, begin to open your eyes and bring your weight into your right foot. We're going to come into tree pose. So our left foot either rests on the floor, we can take the foot to the calf. I'm just going to turn to the front actually. So the foot on the floor, foot to the calf, or foot to the inner thigh. You're rooting down through that standing foot. We're not kicking out into the hip. We are standing tall, and the bent knee only turns out as far as your hips naturally allow it to be. So the knee might be more at a 45-degree or maybe even 30 degrees, facing more to the front than out to the side. It's all about finding the shape in this posture that works for you as we root down through our standing foot and grow tall through the rest of the body, taking our hands to the heart here. So if it's okay, if you're quite happy to stay in this position, we're going to take a few breaths in our tree pose. And as we inhale, we're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to open out the branches of our tree. As we inhale, we come back to center. See if you can do this 2 more times, moving with your breath. We inhale, we lengthen. We exhale and we open out. Soft, gentle movements, allowing the breath to guide the pace of the posture. Last time, inhale, exhale. Coming back to center. From here, you're going to turn that knee forward and step your left foot back behind you, opening your arms out once more into your triangle pose. Pushing down through the feet. As you inhale, you're going to take it backwards once more. Keeping that left shoulder away from the ear, feeling the space in the body, space in the mind as well. And as we exhale, we draw it back through center. Take a breath in, lengthen forward as though you're being lifted through the sides of your body. And as we exhale, gently rotating over. I always like to take my top arm behind me here. I feel it opens out the chest a little bit. Keep your gaze to the floor if there's any discomfort in the neck as we reach those right fingertips down towards the earth. Bring a bend into that right knee. Push yourself up to standing and then step your left foot to meet your right at the top of your mat. Bring your hands to your heart. Ground yourself down to the earth through your feet as we bring the weight more into the left foot and take our right foot into our tree pose. So again, if I just turn to the front, you've either got your foot to the floor, your foot to the calf, your foot to the inner thigh. Now don't worry if one side's different to the other. We're not symmetrical, and sometimes you might feel a little more wobbly on one side than the other. If we focus your gaze on a point in front of you, relax your jaw, soften your shoulders, and as we breathe in, so we lift our arms. And as we exhale, we open out the branches of our tree, and the inhale draws us together. 2 more times in your own breath. The breath guides our movement here. Last time, inhale, lengthen as we root down through that left foot. Exhale, open out through the arms. Inhale. As we draw the hands back to center, so we draw that right knee to center and step the right foot back, opening out our arms, dancing the feet around to find our foundations in our triangle pose. Roll those shoulders back and down, taking that right arm down the right leg, extending up through the left, maybe even looking down to the floor behind your right foot here. As we breathe in, so we come back through center. Take an exhale. On your next inhale, we lengthen forward, 2 straight legs. Remember, rooting down through both feet equally. As we exhale, rotating it over into our triangle pose on this side. Keeping the right arm lifted or choosing to take it behind the back, having the effect of opening out the chest here. Gaze to the floor or to the ceiling. And as we bend into our left knee, so we push ourselves up to standing and step our right foot to meet our left at the top of our mat, returning once more to our mountain pose, using this as a kind of reset, resetting the distribution of your weight, resetting the length of your inhale and your exhale. Just taking a moment in our lovely mountain pose. Okay, we are going to come into a pose called chair pose now. And it can be quite challenging, so please make this posture your own and make any adjustments that you feel you need to feel stable and strong in this pose. So we take our feet about hip width distance, maybe even a little bit wider here. Bring a bend into the knees as we send the bottom behind us, as though you're sitting on a chair. Never thought of that before. Yes, as though you are sitting down onto your chair, so the tailbone goes down towards the earth behind us. We're going to reach our arms up. Now, if this is too much load on your lower back, keep your arms closer into your chest, maybe to your heart. Otherwise, we're going to keep our arms lifted. Draw that belly in, using your core muscles to support your back. Now, as we exhale, we're going to take the hands forward and see if we can rise up onto our toes. Drop the heels, lift the arms. See if we can do that 2 more times. Arms come forward, onto the toes, heels drop, arms raise. Last time, arms forward, onto the toes, heels drop, arms lift, come up to standing, hands to heart. We're going to lower ourselves down to the floor now. 2 options. First option, just sit down. Second option, we're going to come back into our chair pose and see how strong our legs are feeling today. Mine are already shaking, so I'm not really holding out too much hope for this one. Think about the breath. Focus on the breath. Focus on the weight underneath your feet as we roll those shoulders back and down. Return to our chair pose, sinking down onto our imaginary chair. Either bring your hands to your heart or lengthen them in front as we come onto our toes. From this position, with as much control as you can muster, we just lower ourselves all the way down towards the floor. I know that if knees are a problem or if hips are sore, then this isn't going to work for you. So please just sit yourself down onto your bottom. Otherwise, if you want to, we can take the feet a little bit wider and come into our yogi squat pose. As I said, if that's not working for you, sit down on your bottom and just bring the soles of your feet together. You're still getting a little bit of work into the hips without the pressure on the knees here. So if you're in your yogi squat, let's stay here just for a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, we all come into the same posture, our little cobbler's pose, our Baddha Konasana, with the soles of our feet together, knees gently falling out to the side here. Let's take our hands behind, facing the fingers either forwards or out to the side, whatever feels good for you. Taking the feet probably about hip width distance apart and just rolling the knees over to one side, coming back to center and rolling them over to the other. Again, they don't have to come too far. We're not forcing the body to make any shapes it doesn't want to make. One more time over to the right. Before we come down onto our mat completely, lying flat on our backs, we're going to take the hands a little bit further away from us now. This time, if you can, turning the fingers to face your hips, otherwise, keep them out to the side. And we're just going to lower down and do a little tricep dip. So as we lower down, try not to C-curve your back or sink your head into your shoulders. Stay lifted through your chest and lengthen through the spine. And as you breathe out, imagine you're trying to touch elbow to elbow behind you and just lower yourself down. Only go as far as you can, knowing that you can then push yourself up again. Let's see if we can go for a few more of these, slowly lowering it down. Really pulling the weight into your hands and your arms, letting your arms do the work as you draw your belly in. Push yourself up. Just a couple more as we lower it down. Squeezing elbow to elbow. Keep lifted. Imagine you've got an orange under your chin, so we're not tucking that chin all the way to the chest. Lower it down. Bring it up. Last time, we're going to lower all the way down towards the floor. Down we go. You might find that you end up on your forearms. You might be able to slide those arms alongside you as we bring ourselves down onto our mat. Now I'm going to keep my knees bent in this position. Just shuffle yourself around to find your variation of neutral. So we don't want to press your spine completely flat into the mat. If your spine has a deep curve in your lumbar, then we keep it there. We're not trying to force the body into any shape it's not designed to go into. Okie dokie. So the feet are about hip width. The knees are stacked over the ankles. Always tend to forget the old body parts here. And we're just going to extend one leg, doesn't matter which, I'm starting with my right, one leg up towards the ceiling. Keeping as much of your back in contact with the floor here. So I can feel the very lower part of my spine in contact with the floor. We don't want to roll it up at all. Pushing the heel away. Maybe even pointing and flexing the foot or rotating through the ankle if you feel you need some movement. The great thing about a yoga practice is when we move from posture to posture, oftentimes your body will tell you what position it wants to go into next. So we've come into this lovely stretch through the back of the hamstrings without folding forward. So we're achieving this without a forward fold. But my body said it needed to move through the ankle. So you automatically move, and your body might be telling you, you need to do another movement. You might want to hug your knee into your chest. You might want to extend and bend. So listen to your body, be guided by your body, be guided by your breath, and move in a way that serves you. We can take that hand behind the back of the thigh. You might be able to reach behind the calf. You might even be able to locate that big toe with the 2 fingers of your right hand, all the while keeping the shoulders on the floor. So if it's an effort to get up there, then we just don't do it. Let's return that right foot down towards the earth and extend that left leg up. One side will feel different to the other. Feels a bit tighter down this side, that's okay. A little bit of movement through the ankle, through the foot, pushing that heel away. Deep breath in, long breath out. It's good when we finish the class lying down like this. It's a way of almost retuning into that breath, which can sometimes get lost as we move through some of the postures. If you find that you're having to concentrate a lot more, you hold on to your breath. And this just helps us bring ourselves back to the point at which we started, which is all about focusing on our breathing, centering ourselves, and staying present in this moment. Whatever we have going on in our lives, at this point, you are here. From here, we're going to take that left foot back down towards the earth and finish our practice today with some relaxation in Savasana. So if you want to keep your knees bent, just walk those feet to the outer edges of the mat and let one knee drop against the other, just so that you're not using any muscles just to hold yourself in this position. You're just fully relaxed. If it feels better for you, then you can extend your legs probably to the outer corners of the mat. Let your feet flop out to the side, whatever feels good for you. Relax those shoulders, turn your palms up towards the ceiling, closing your eyes, and just feeling your fingers begin to curl into the palm of your hand, allowing your thoughts to flow through your mind, just watching them move past as though you're watching an old cine film on a screen. You're watching these flickering images just move past without hopefully the need to hold on to anything. As the breath flows smoothly, we begin to relax once more, settling our mind and body into this space. And staying here for as long as you have time for today, but hopefully staying here for at least, 5 to 10 breaths. And whenever you're ready, you bring yourselves up in as gentle a way as you can manage back into a seated position, the seated position that we started our practice with today. Staying lying down if you want to, but if you choose to come back to seated, we bring our hands to our heart and give yourself a bow of thanks for making it onto your mat today. And if you can, taking this feeling of relaxation and calmness of mind and body, this evenness of breath, see if we can carry it on through your day, through your week. And then until I see you on the mat again next time, thank you very much for joining me. Namaste.